Hey guys, welcome back to part 3 of our series on seeing how long it takes a fully simulated Be a Pro to win the Stanley Cup. In our last episode, we came across a very unfortunate circumstance. We made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, but we lost. So, in this episode, we're going to try to see if we can win the Stanley Cup before our 6-year contract is up with Columbus. I believe it was year 1 of our 6-year contract where we lost in the finals, so we got the next 5 seasons to hopefully take home a cup. So today we are going to see if we can do that. Alright, so before we jump into today's video, I would just really appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button. If you'd like it, share it with a friend, leave a comment. The content's not going to stop, so no matter how many people watch it, it's still going to keep going because I just find this very fun and entertaining, and I hope you guys do too. And if you do, feel free to join alongside me for this journey that we're taking together. So let's jump into today's video and see if we can win the Stanley Cup. Okay, so this off season I did something a little bit different. I added Send It, and we're actually able to upgrade that fully. So before, instead of Send It, what I had in place was Wheels. However, Wheels, we're not able to get our acceleration up to a 93 or higher. I've already maxed out acceleration on the skill tree trait point list. And also I was looking in the finance section where we have multiple other upgrades, and there actually are no acceleration boosts in that finance section. So our acceleration is kind of just sitting where it is. So I'm not able to upgrade that all the way to an elite, just the way it is. So I'm going to try something different this year. We're going to start out with it. If it is not like working for us in our favor, then I'll jump back to Wheels, but I'm going to try Send It, and maybe we'll see if we can spark some more offense to our game, get more assists, secondary assists, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's just hopefully it'll be something that's a little bit different that'll bring us to the next level. That way we just have 3 elite X factors. Who knows how much that'll actually play into our offensive production, but we shall see. It's time to see what the coach did in the offseason. So we lost Reinhardt. We got Rasmussen. He's a new addition to our team this year. Brisson also is, and maybe Stenberg. I to be honest, it's so hard to remember. We're in our 8th season now, still have yet to win the cup, and it's pretty sad actually. Our defense is looking like it's struggling a little bit. We might be in a little bit of a pickle here. We may lead the team on our backs this year. But we'll jump into this now, and we'll check and see how we're doing at the halfway point of the season. Okay, so we're halfway through the season, and we had some unfortunate news come our way. We were injured, so we've only played 18 games of the season. Our team, however, has played 41 games, so we are halfway through the season. And if we jump over to Stat Central, not Record Book, we can see that Martin Nikas is our leader of our team with 34 points and 41 games. If you scroll all the way down here, we have only 18 games played and 10 points in those 18 games. So a pretty unfortunate situation for us. We have a positive record, 19, 14, and 8. So we are, I'm pretty sure, sitting in a playoff position if I am correct. Yeah, so we're top 3 of our division, so we're sitting in a playoff spot right now, which is pretty nice. Can never go wrong with that. So we'll hopefully bounce back from this injury and then be able to get some stats this season. However, it's looking like an off season for us, which is okay, I suppose. But let's jump ahead to the end of the season and see how we bounce back from this injury. Okay, so we are at the end of our season. We made the playoffs, and we are playing against the Washington Capitals in the first round. Nikas led our team with 72 points. We had a very unfortunate season all the way down here. We only played about half of it, 48 games, but still only 24 points. So we were averaging a point every 2 games, which for a 98 overall is not very good. We get home ice advantage against the Washington Capitals though, and so we're hopefully going to be able to actually win the Stanley Cup this year. We got a taste of the Stanley Cup finals last year, but we definitely want to be all in this year. Since it's getting kind of repetitive, I'm just going to simulate all the way through to elimination games and just see how we do. So we lost the first game. Looks like we got a goal in it. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We lost game 2 as well, which also is unfortunate. You don't want to be down 2-0, especially when your first 2 games are at home, because then, you basically give them home ice advantage at this point. Game 3, we get the W in a 6-4 win. It looks like we had 2 assists in that game, so you love to see that. What happens in game 4? We lose. That's sad. 5-3, and no points for Mercer. So the boys are on their heels. They're down 3-1 in the first round. I'm not feeling super confident. We just spent the whole year basically on injured reserves, so it's just, I don't think this year was meant to be, guys, if I'm being completely honest. We're going to sim this game because it's an elimination game. So game 5, let's see what happens. First period, we go up 2-1. Then we go up 3-1. And finally, we win the game 5-3. You love to see it. Did Mercer get any points? 1 assist for the guy. There was only a handful of players on our team who didn't get points in this game. So all around, full team effort. You love to see it. And we're going to keep it going for the next game. And hopefully we can stay alive and get this comeback win against Washington. So first period, we go up 1-0. Mercer gets a goal. Second period, 1-0 again. And third period, we win 3-0 to force a game 7. So Mercer had a goal on 3 shots. And we are going to see what comes of game 7 here. Okay, game 7, here we go. We're at home, so hopefully that works in our favor. Mercer again on the board, this time with a shorthanded goal. It's 2-2 after the second. Let's jump into the third and see what happens. Voronkov gets us on the board quickly into the third, followed by a goal by Brisson, followed by a goal by Stenberg. We are just taking charge. This is, in fact, our series. Washington, you can try, but you cannot beat the Columbus Blue Jackets. We may have been down 3-1 in the series, but we came back and we won in Game 7, and that is very exciting. Mercer got a goal, that shorthanded goal in the game. So it was a great way to set the tempo for the boys, and we're going to see who it is that we play in the second round. So in the second round, we're playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Very excited to see how this takes shape here. So game 1, Pittsburgh's got home ice advantage, and we lose 7-2. Wow. That is a horrendous start to the series. Game 2 of the series at Pittsburgh. Do we take this win? We lose 2-1. It was a very tight game. It appears only a 1-goal differential. And we're going to try to see if we can claw our way back into the series now that we have we're playing on our home turf. And so let's see, will we win game 3? We do. We win 4-1 in game 3, which is amazing. So game 4, do we get this win as well? We do, 4-3. You love to see it. We're in a little bit of a pointless drought here. Haven't gotten a point in the last 3 games, or 4 games. Actually, we don't have a point this whole series. Last series, we had 6 points in 7 games. And in the first 4 games of this series, we don't have a single point yet. So let's hope and see that, or let's see if we can turn it around and hope that we do. Oh, we get behind in game 5. So now we are the ones who are on the brink of elimination here. We're going to see if we get beat out here. We saw ourselves claw back against Washington. Will we be able to do it against Pittsburgh? Time will tell. Who knows what is in store for Columbus? I'm hoping it's a win, so that way we can end this video and just go to bed happy that the Stanley Cup is ours. But there's still a lot of work to be done before then. We have to win these next 2 games. Pittsburgh takes a 1-0 lead. Suzuki gets on the board. 2-2 after 2, though. And let's take a peek. Who is going to pop ahead? Kent Johnson gets a goal for us to get us ahead in the game. Is it enough, though, to secure the win? I would really appreciate an insurance goal. A minute left in the game. And it was, in fact, enough to get the win. So we force another Game 7 in back-to-back series. And, hey, they don't ask how, they ask how many. Isn't that the saying? How many times have I said that on this YouTube channel? Who knows? Time to see if Columbus has what it takes to win back-to-back Game 7s, 0-0 after 1. We're down by a goal to start the third. Let's see if we can get another quick one like we did in the last game. Or is Pittsburgh's 1 goal going to be enough to knock us out? They get a little bit of an insurance marker with the second goal. And we really need to crawl back quickly here if we want a chance. Pittsburgh gets an empty net goal, and we, despite forcing a Game 7, do not win the series. And we get to do this all over again. Okay, so at this point of the season, I have actually somehow skipped ahead, and I missed my preseason ramble as well as my mid-season ramble. So what I'm going to do is just skip ahead to the end of the season, and we're just going to see how the rest of the season went. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so yet again, another season has come and gone, except for the first time in, I think, 4 or 5 years, we have not made the playoffs. So we finished with a losing record, actually, which is second worst in our division. So how the mighty have fallen. We went from being conference champions 2 years ago. So this year I caught a smaller injury bug and only played 77 games. And I actually tied my season best points at 56. I had that 2 years ago, the year we went to the conference finals. So it would have been nice to see what would have happened had I played those other 5 games. Would I have gotten over 60 points? Who knows? Yeah, we struggled this year though, in terms of like our minus. Yeah, we had a little more. We had power play time for like 1 chapter, I think. Some shorthanded minutes. We'd like to see those minutes go up again. We ended the season on the second line, so I believe that means that next season we're going to start on the second line, which we haven't done that before. We've always ended on the third line, so that's going to be a plus for us. Face-off percentage, the highest it's ever been at 57.6%. So yeah, lots to note here. Take a peek at our overall. We're 97 overall. I went with this loadout this year. It seemed to be the one, I don't know, just kind of, I was getting more multi-point games with this loadout, so I was getting a lot higher form scores when I did get a good form score. So that was kind of nice to bring my averages up. I still have 4 years left on my contract, so we are in it for the long haul. I think the start of next season may mark 3 years. I don't know if that's taken this year off of it yet. Interesting. We don't really have that many X Factor players anymore. We're kind of, unfortunately, getting into almost 2040. Like, we're in 2036 right now. Our next season's going to be the fall of 2036. So I mean, we've played 10 years worth of seasons, and we have nothing to show for it. And our lines are proof of how poor, like, it's so hard to tell what's ahead in scouting and whatnot. If we go to our milestone tracker, we can see 0 Stanley Cup wins, no awards. We have 1 conference win, which is nice. No hat tricks in the regular season. We did have 1 playoff hat trick. All in all, we haven't really had that great of a career. I feel like Be a Pro is not meant to be simulated. It's much better played. If I were playing this out, I would have 363 points probably in my first 3 years. Not in 10 years, which is what we've got. But hey, we're hoping to, get 150 goals next season, get over 400 points, and hopefully we can raise the Lord Stanley over our heads. This is turning into a 27-part series just because of how many seasons we've had to play. But it's one of those is what it is things, and as long as you guys are here for the ride, I'm here for the ride, and we're just going to keep going until either I get to an age where I feel like I should retire or I win the Stanley Cup. He's 26, is that right? Oh, he's 28 now. Okay, that makes sense. We played 10 seasons. So start of next season, he's going to be 29. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting for sure to see how much longer he can go before his overall starts to drop down. But we'll see. We shall in fact see. So stay tuned for the start of the next season. Okay, so we are back for the start of another season. And let's take a peek at our lines, see what we're working with this year. Something that's nice is that we are starting this year on the second line rather than the third line for the first time in our career. Ooh, this is looking a little rough, if I'm being honest. Not a single person that I even recognize from a current NHL standpoint, which kind of makes sense considering that we're entering our 10th season. I believe that's what it is. The fact that we're not on the power play is crazy to me. Let's see. Okay. All right. How did we get Schaefer? I'm all right with that. We have him for 5 years. That's sweet. We got this guy too, who has a X factors. He's got exact potential, so that's not bad. Okay, so let's sim ahead to the halfway point of the season and see what things are looking like there. The coach set out a challenge for us to make the playoffs. With this squad, I'm not entirely sure how that's going to be possible, but hey, who knows? Let's see what we're looking like at the halfway point of the season. Okay, so we're just a little bit over the halfway point of the season. We got injured for a little bit, so we've only played 43 games despite the fact that our team has played 50-some games. So let's take a peek here at Stat Central and see how we're looking. So despite our team's lines, I'm really shocked, to be honest, that we're doing as well as we are. 37, 17, and 2, first in the division by a landslide. Let's check out the entire league. We're second in the league. The next closest team to us in the East is the Montreal Canadiens, and they're 6 points back from us. So we're the top team in the East. And if we look to our point leaders here, we got Rowe, Armstrong, and Mercer, your boy, in the top 3 of team points in 10 games, 11 games less. So I think our team's played 56 games total. In 43 of our own games, we've got 42 points. We've secured a spot on the top line. We're just fighting for a top power play minutes. We got 8 power play points, so we're doing okay. We're doing all right. We've got our ice time up above the 17, almost 18 minute mark. So 59% in the face-off dot. You love to see that. 26 hits. We're stepping up our hitting a little bit more at the halfway point than in previous seasons. Yeah, things are starting to look up, and if we can get a spot on this top power play unit, I'm pretty sure that I have the conversation ability to stay on there even if we don't play well, which means that we would only ever get top line minutes for the rest of our career. So let's see if we can crack that top roster spot on the first power play unit by the end of the season. We'll see at the end of the season, and hopefully we can make a playoffs and maybe just maybe win the division. So we shall see about that. So stay tuned. Okay, another season is in the books, and we've done pretty well actually this season. Okay, so it looks like we are playing the Ottawa Senators in our first round of the playoffs. Let's take a peek at the stats. We were 46, 32, and 4. So that was a pretty good record overall. Last little bit of our season was really rough. We went on a major losing streak to end the season out. I think we were 4-6-0 in our last 10 games. If I were to look at our last 20, let's see. In our last 20 games, we were 5-14-1. So that just goes to show you how awful the end of that season was. First time ever, Mercer is your point leader. In 69 games played, I had 70 points. So for the first time in my career, I'm a point per game producer. 31 goals, that I believe is a career high. 39 assists, also a career high, I believe. That's right. So 70 points. So most I've ever gotten in a season. For our first time really in our career, we got power play points, which is always nice. A couple shorthanded points. We got 18 minutes, 38 seconds of ice time. We were 59.84 in the dot, which is a career high. Career high takeaways as well. So yeah, all around, really great season. We ended on the first line, which means that for the entire playoffs, we are going to be on the first line. So this is a look at your playoff tree for this year. Montreal was the top dogs in the East, so they play against Philly, the wildcard team, and then we also were the second top dog in the East, so we are playing the Sens, the other wildcard team. Again, Boston versus Toronto. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, and then over in the West, Calgary again. I would love a Columbus-Calgary final because I feel like that would just be a very great storyline. But first, before we get there, we have to get through the playoffs. Okay, so we're going to sim the first game of the playoffs, see what happens. We lose 3-1, no points for Mercer. You don't like to see that start, especially because we got the home ice advantage. So we're going to sim ahead past game 2, see what we got going on. Another 4-1 loss. I got a goal in that game. However, that is not what you want to be seeing out of your star players. Let's get this back up so we can get our X Factor ability. I didn't even realize that was down, so maybe that has been playing a part. So we're going to sim ahead to game 3 and 4. And guys, we need a win. Are we really going to have this amazing season where we win the division just to lose in the playoffs? I sure hope not. A 1-0 win gets us our first win in the playoffs in 2037, and we are looking to stay alive. So far, it's the away team that has won every game. So game 4, let's see, will that trend continue? It does not, and we are in a little bit of a pickle here. Going into game 5, down in the series 3-1. Okay, game 5, we are on the brink of elimination, and we're going to see if we can steer ahead here. So we go 2-2 to open up the game in the first period, but we go up 3-2 in the second. Let's see, can the boys hold out here in the third period? It'd be really nice if we got an insurance marker and Mercer gets one for us. So let's try to hold this lead. If we let them back in this game, I'm going to be severely disappointed. Look at those shot totals, 35-20 for Ottawa. So they clearly owned this game possession-wise, but we've just made the most of our opportunities, it appears. Stützle, still with the Sens, surprisingly, makes it 3-5 or 3-4, but then we get a goal just a minute after that, and we have not been eliminated yet. Keyword yet. So Mercer had 2 goals and an assist in the game for a 3-point game. Only 14 minutes of ice time, which is very strange for a first liner in the playoffs. It's, yeah, I guess what can you do about it? I'm going to double check. I'm pretty sure I'm on the first line. Yeah, I am. Strange times, strange times. Game 6, this is scary because we are not the home team, but we go up and hey, power play minutes, that's why they matter. We get a power play goal to go up 1-0 in the first, but Ottawa makes it 2-1 in the second. Let's see, can we crawl back here and get a goal in the third? It would be great if we could get on the power play. Mercer with a 2-goal game ties it up. Let's see if we can build on this momentum and take a lead here. That's scary, giving Ottawa a power play. but nothing shows for it. Again, look at the shots. We're being outshot 34-27. Really interesting. And we are going into overtime of Game 6. Mercer was able to bring it back within a tie game here. I find simulated overtimes, there's always a goal either in the first minute or the second overtime. So let's see what happens this game. Look at that. We get a power play goal in overtime. I'm surprised we got a power play because the refs always put the whistles away in overtime, but we'll take it. And we get to win Game 6. We had 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points in a 3-2 victory. You can't ask for much more than that. Now, it wouldn't be a playoffs if we didn't come back from a 3-1 deficit in the series just to lose in 7. So let's see what happens here in Game 7. We take a 3-2 lead. A lot of special teams action in the first period. And in the second period, Ottawa gets 2. Brady Tkachuk's still on the team. Ooh, again, on our heels, but we've done it before. Will we get it back? Okay, we bring it back within 1. That was a very busy first minute of the third. Let's see, can we somehow crawl our way back into this game? After being down by 2, for the first time in a simulated game this series, we are seeing us leading in shots. However, each team that's led in shots has lost the game, so it's clutch time. We need to get a goal here, but we give them a power play with 3 minutes left. Isn't that just beautiful? And they get an empty net goal. And your Metropolitan Division leaders have been eliminated in the first round. I'm not crying, you're crying. This was a very sad moment for us. I genuinely thought that this was going to be our year, which, considering the fact that I'm wearing this jersey or this shirt right now, that makes sense that I'm saying that. I at the start of the year, I thought we were going to get smoked, and then the team in the season just blew my expectations out of the water and was able to secure the division. At one point, we were first in the whole league, and so just to lose in 7 is, especially after coming back from being down 3-1 in the series, that just hurts. But Montreal as well lost in 7. So this is definitely interesting. We had 2 sweeps happen in the West, Calgary sweeps and the Avalanche sweeps. Guys, were we too early to give up on Calgary? Who knows? We will jump ahead to our next season now and be sad. Goodbye. Okay, so let's see what our GM did in the off season. Did we get any support? No, not on the forward end anyway. Our goal by the coach here is to make the playoffs. We have an 80 overall goalie. I'm just hoping that each team is getting worse and not just ours. We still have Schaefer and Wang, so that's nice, I suppose. Let's see, we're 98 overall. We're still in the first line, so that's good. Is this our second last year of our contract? So we have this year and next. I'm really hoping to win a Stanley Cup within that time frame. Also because, I'm 29, so I'm not super old yet. 29 being old. I'm probably another 10 years away from retiring, and we're just finally getting to the point where we're getting first line minutes. So sometimes it just is what it is, and we're going to try our best to make the playoffs first and then try to win a cup here so that we can end this video. I seriously thought it would take me an afternoon to do. I'm currently on day 4 of recording this video, so yeah. We're a little over halfway through the season. We've played 48 games, and we're in a pretty good spot, I think. We're leading our team in points with 58 points. Next is Ernest Rowe with 42 points. So we got a little bit of a jump on the rest of our team. But when we look to the entire league, we're actually sitting in a pretty good spot too. Like, we're 58 points. We're second in the league for points. We're just following Clancy, we're just ahead of Clancy, following behind Bedard. One thing I did do was I switched from wheels to no contest. And so essentially what I did there was I still have the speed aspect of my game, but now there's a little bit of strength to it as well. I just thought maybe I'd switch it up, and also that way it would help me simulate quicker, because each game I would lose wheels when my health would go down, whereas no contest I'm able to keep that no matter what my health is. So it's just one extra step that I don't have to do when I'm simulating now. I'm still keeping my health up there when I am going through the simulation, because when I do, so it's at 3% endurance and durability. When I keep it up to the top here, I get that acceleration, agility, endurance, speed, and strength. So I am keeping it up there, but now I just don't have to go through the other aspect of re-adding that X Factor trait to my player each time I play a game. Our team is 24, 19, and 5, which is a very good record to have. I would say it's definitely not where we were last year. However, we're a couple points shy of a playoff spot. So it's interesting, because you'd think that, we are an above 500 team not making the playoff spot. It's kind of similar to how the East looks this year. Is every team except for Detroit and Florida here are all 500 teams. They all have a winning record, which is, good, but it makes a very tight race. So despite the fact that we only have 53 points, we are only shy of a playoff spot by 1 point. So we'll see how things gear up. I'm really hoping we can keep our point totals up and potentially be in some conversation for some trophies. I feel like that would be fantastic. We shall see what the future holds. I believe, I can't remember, is this my second last year of my contract? Yes, it is. Okay. So it's almost going to be contract season again. So we shall try to keep the points up there so we can get a pretty decent contract in the future. So another season has come and gone, and we broke the 100-point marker, getting almost 30 points more than the next player on our team. Call us Connor McDavid. But apparently we fell short of the Art Ross and the Rocket. We just had conversations with our manager, who said, oh, that is close. I mean, goals-wise, not really close at all. We were second, I suppose. Points, 4 points away from the Art Ross. We could be in conversation for, another trophy maybe. We only had 12 penalty minutes, so maybe it's the Selke we might get. 25 power play points, 18 power play goals, shooting 19.5%. So we were definitely up there. So we had 68 takeaways. I'm thinking that our no contest was probably had something to do with that. 60 giveaways though, you don't want to see that. I want that ratio to be a little bit higher. Yeah, and we made the playoffs. Just snuck into a wild card spot. Both wild card teams came from the Metro, so the Atlantic wasn't quite as strong as the Metro was. 87 points there and 93. Yeah, so we'll take it. But for the second year in a row, we're playing against Ottawa in the first round. This time they have the home ice advantage, so maybe we can, do something with that. Calgary didn't make it this year, but it's a lot of very similar teams from last playoffs, so it'll be curious to see how it shakes out. Okay, game 1. Let's advance the day. Do we get the win? We lose 3-0. That is very sad. We'll sim to our next game now. We'll advance this day as well. Do we get a win? We lose in overtime. Unfortunately, that is the way that the cookie is crumbling this series. And just like last year, we lose our first 2 games to Ottawa. Will we repeat history and once again win game 3, lose game 4, come back, tie the series up and lose in 7? Who knows? Game 3, let's see. We win 3-1 in game 3. So far, history is repeating itself. Let us see how Game 4 plays out. We advance the day and we lose. So, once again, for back-to-back years, we are on the brink of elimination, down 3-1 to the Sens in the exact same order of games. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see how we do against the Sens. 0-0 after 1. Ottawa takes a 1-0 lead. Let's see, can we crawl back? It's very tough to do that when we give them power play goals. So we're down by 2, and I don't know, we may not actually bring it to 7 this year. Very unfortunate with just goal after. I'm not even going to watch the rest of it. 4-2, we lose. On to another season. Ridiculous. You know, we may be like a Joe Pavelski type player, never see a Stanley Cup win, but just still have a phenomenal career. So I guess we're just gonna keep plugging away and go on to the final year of our contract with Columbus, and hopefully we can. I'm really wanting to lock down a cup win with Columbus before that contract is up, because looking at our roster, I don't see myself re-signing with Columbus. I'm gonna have to take a peek at the end of the season to see what other rosters look like, who's on what teams, because as it stands right now, I don't really have any help. Like, even the only redeeming quality of our team is the fact that we have Matthew Schaefer. It's going to be tough to make a decision there, but for now, we don't have to worry about that till the next off season, so we'll just keep on keeping on. Okay, so we may have gotten booted by the Sens in back-to-back first rounds. Carolina won the cup once again, back-to-back years. First time we've seen a back-to-back since Florida, I think, like the current Florida team. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. So Art Ross, we already knew, went to Bedard. Hart goes to Bedard. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping that I'd be up in that conversation, considering, you know, the fact that Bedard's won it for the last how many years. So, you know, that would have been nice for a little bit of underdog bias there. Didn't get it. The Norris goes to another player on Chicago, Lev Shunov. So maybe Chicago is just stacked. But we finally have the first trophy of our collection. Add it to the case. We got the Lady Byng. Good sportsmanship, gentlemanly conduct. You love to see it. Calder goes to a Calgary kid. And the Conn Smythe, Michkov, gets it. Interesting. He's with the Canes. I was wondering if we would get the Selke. I guess our defensive side of the game isn't as strong as I thought it was. I thought maybe with the amount of takeaways we had, we would potentially get it, but perhaps it's just not up to snuff. The Ted Lindsay, we had a conversation with our agent saying that we were close but didn't get it, so that's unfortunate too. And the Rocket. Bedard just absolutely cleaning up this year. Hopefully next year we can do the same. Let's see what our lines look like when we get into the regular season. Okay, so heading into our final season with Columbus under this contract, not much again has changed. However, we got this Marko Saarinen, who's an 86 overall, top 6 exact. He's a big rig, so I think he's a sniper. I would assume he would have been like a power forward or something. And then we're playing alongside Armstrong, who's also a sniper. So hopefully the fact that I am a playmaker will be nice in helping set these guys up for some goals. 86 and 85 overall isn't awful. It would have been nice to have someone, you know, who's also in the 90s up here with me. I really wish that I took more advantage of, or not took more advantage, but simulated better, so that way when we had like Reinhardt and McDavid and Marchenko and all them, that I could have been able to play with them. But it's one of those is what it is things. We are on the first power play line, which is sweet. We still got Schaefer on the team. Our goalies, we got this 88 overall Ravensbergen. Looks like a kid, but I guess we've done so many seasons that he's 31 now. Okay, so we're at the halfway point of the season, and Mercer's leading the team in points by a doozy. So almost by 20 points. We're doubling the amount of players who have goals. The next two best goal scorers are both defensemen. Assists as well, like Schaefer and Armstrong. Schaefer, that should be expected as a 90 overall. But as far as our team, we're not doing too hot. It's funny because I say we're not doing hot. We're 4 points shy of a playoff spot. But I don't think this team really has what it takes to make the playoffs. I'm not feeling super confident in this team. So I think what I'm gonna maybe try and do is see kind of which teams, if I were to go to the entire league, which teams are tending to have success here. It looks like we got two guys at the top of the league from Colorado. Jarvis with Ottawa, Celebrini's still on the Sharks. Philly's doing well, Carolina's doing well. So I think I'm gonna do it. I was really hoping to win a cup by the end of this contract, and I think I'm going to talk with my GM and see if I can get a trade to a team that's a contender. Is it bad if I say within the division, because we had Pittsburgh and Carolina was doing well, but also the Central had a pretty solid. Oh, this is risky, isn't it? I'm not gonna say it anywhere but here, but I think I'm gonna go for maybe the Central. Oh, I should have looked at it a little bit more ahead of time. I was just looking. I didn't think that the division would be what I'd have to choose. I thought it would be like, oh, I want to go to a cup contending team, or oh, I want to go to, wherever. Unless I missed something. I could have missed something. That would have sucked if I did. But let's say the Central just... Okay, well, we'll see what comes of that. I've never made a trade request before. Ever, actually. So I guess we'll see if anything pops up. Okay, so we have been a part of a trade. So we've been traded. The location is slightly problematic. And I'm pausing for dramatic effect here. Oh, man.
And every locker room is the same. It's a different logo, different players, but they all know what it takes to get to the National Hockey League.
I may need to go rewatch our trade request, because I didn't get traded to a team that's much better. Arguably, I was traded to a team that's worse. Points-wise, we're actually 4 points worse than Columbus. So, I don't know, did I miss something where I was able to make a selection? Did I just not read quick enough? I'm editing, and no, I didn't miss anything. And that is just unfortunate. Because we're kind of in a very similar situation here. Although at least there's an actual NHL player on our roster. I see that Heischer's here, but where is he? He's on the fourth line as a 77 overall. Now, granted, I guess he is 40 now, and Robertson is 39, and at least there's more. It looks like there's younger guys on this team who are rated higher. What's our defense situation looking like? Got a 79 overall Luke Hughes. Perhaps I was too quick to make a trade, or maybe I just didn't. This is going to bite me in the butt. I feel like it is. Watch Columbus make the playoffs. Oh, well, it is what it is now, and there's nothing we can do about it. I thought we'd have more say in where we would get to go, just because of the fact that, we're a 98 overall and best player on our team, that kind of thing. Like, I thought we had good rapport with our management, but you know what? Sometimes things just don't turn out the way you want them to, and that's okay. But let's see how we fare for the rest of the season, and hopefully we can get into a playoff spot here. Okay, so heading into our final game of the regular season, we have a winning record, and we're currently sitting in the very last playoff spot. The Leafs, however, are 2 points behind us, and if we go to the Eastern Conference, they're not the only ones chasing us, but Philly's also in. Never mind. Okay, so it's just the Leafs that we need to worry about, really. So even if the Leafs win, they would knock out Philly first and we would still be in there. So we need Philly to lose is really the biggest thing we want to happen. Either of these teams lose, I'd be okay with that, but it's going to be interesting for sure. Also, we've broken through the 100-point mark again, so that's pretty great. As far as goals go, unless Bedard just absolutely lights it up in his last game. Is he still with Chicago? Yeah. If he lights it up in his last game. So yeah, unless Bedard lights it up in the final game of the season, they only have 81 games. It looks like we're going to get the Rocket, which is pretty exciting because that's another trophy to our case. Also, if Jarvis doesn't get any points, we potentially may get the Art Ross too. So we're definitely in a fingers crossed game. There's a lot on the line. There's a couple trophies. There's a playoff spot. There's just so much at stake. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and sim the game in a dramatic fashion. So the first period, we score and we're up. I forgot what team we were for a second. We are up 1-0. Great second period. We go up 4-0. So the playoff spot is looking like it's a lock-in. Whether or not we got points or not, that's the question. Glenn Cross, have yourself a game. Is that 4-goal game for Glenn Cross? Okay, 3 goals, 1 assist. Mercer here, we got 3 assists, so that doesn't help us so much for the Rocket. Hopefully Bedsy didn't score 4. I guess we're just gonna have to find out. Okay, so the season is complete. We're going to have a chat with the media. I'm pretty sure it's to lock in these trophies that we got. A little congratulations. Art Ross trophy winner. Well, I think we should get our brand up. Why not?
This is incredible. Most goals in the league, and that's difficult in a league like this.
Okay, so we just snuck into a wild card spot. That was thrilling. Let's take a look at the final stats just because I'm curious. So Toronto didn't win their game. Actually, no, Toronto did win their game. Oops, where am I going here? Eastern Conference. Toronto did win their game, but also the Flyers did. So all 3 of these teams won their final game. So that's kind of huge, actually, that we won that game. Otherwise, we would be out right now. I'd assume so, because the Leafs would have more wins than we would, and I think that's the tiebreaker, unless it's our record against the Leafs. I'm not entirely sure. I'm being honest off the top of my head. But Mercer gets the Art Ross, gets the Rocket. It's a good thing we had a 3-point game because Jarvis just turned on the Jets for his last game. I also totally thought that this was Seth Jarvis. I'm not even going to lie. So anyway, I'm glad we got those 3 assists. I'm glad we lit up Buffalo 6 zip because we needed those points apparently. So 54 goals, 52 assists. I'm pretty sure that is my record. Now, also, these are going to be split stats because of the fact that I played with 2 different teams. So 27 and 27 makes 54. So yep, that is a record. 29 and 23 also makes 54, right? 52. 29 and 23 makes 52. That is not quite our assist record. Last season we had 54 assists, but we do have the most points we've ever gotten by a solid 1 point. If Bedard didn't have the year he did last year, we probably would have had both those trophies as well last year as we did this year. But luckily, well, not luckily, unfortunately for Bedard, he got hurt. So luckily for us, we were able to get those trophies. But in our final season, we just squeaked into a playoff spot. Let's see, did Columbus also get a spot? I would guess not. Oh, look at that, they did. And they had about 5 more points than we did, I think. Yeah, they finished ahead of us in the standings with 2 more wins and 1 overtime loss. Maybe we weren't right in making a trade request. Maybe I got a little nervous that we weren't gonna make the final cut. Whether or not we did, whether or not they did, we are playing the Montreal Canadiens in the first round. So let's advance through the first game here. We had a pretty good season record against them, if my memory serves me right. But we lose the game 1 4-0. So we don't have the home ice advantage, remember, because we just snuck into the wild card spot. So we are going to be playing probably every single series to start on the road, which is going to be difficult, but crazier things have happened. Will this underdog take out the Les Canadiens? And let's see game 2. That's back-to-back 4-0 games. We've been blanked so far in the playoffs. Let's see, can we get a win at home here? That would be absolutely splendid if we did. And we do, 5-0. So it's been a goalie series. If you like goaltending, this is the series for you. That's 3 shutouts in 3 games. So the series is the series is 2-1. I was getting ahead of myself. I was going to say, hopefully we can tie it up here in game 4. Let's give ourselves a little more energy so that way we play or simulate better, hopefully. Game 4 at home. Do we get the win? We lose 6-4. And for the 3rd straight year, in the exact same order, we take a 3-1 series deficit. Lose 2, win 1, lose 1 for a 3-1 series. I was really hoping for different results across a different team, but we are in the situation that we are in, and there's nothing we can do about it now except simulate game 5 and try to hold on to our playoff hopes. Let's see, how do we do? We open up the scoring 1-0 in the first, but Montreal ties it 1-1 going into the 3rd frame. Let's try to get a power play goal. Let's try to get a shorthanded goal. Any type of goal, we'll take it. As we look to keep our playoff hopes alive, we give Montreal a power play, but nothing comes of that. 8 minutes to go in the 3rd period. We're still tied at 1. It's anyone's game. We're entering next goal wins territory, and Jamie Drysdale gets a goal for the good guys, and we are trying to hold on to this lead. Do we do it? Entering the final minute and a half, and the job is done. We win the game 2-1. Thank goodness, because I don't want to play another season. I would just love to call it done, especially now that I got a couple trophies in the books. It would just be nice to call it quits after this season. But there's still 2 more games to win in this series, and then 3 more series after that. Series, whatever the plural of series is. English is hard sometimes. I just realized how big of a boost winning those trophies was to our brand. We are all the way full. That's pretty sweet, actually. It all means nothing if we don't win the Stanley Cup. So, end of the first period, tied 0-0. End of the second period, tied at 1s for the 2nd straight game. Montreal gets an early power play, but they can't capitalize. We give them another power play and also can't capitalize. And we get a goal. Look at that, 2-1. With 14 minutes left, can we hold on to this lead? I sure hope so. Like I've been saying, would love to, well, I wouldn't love to see that. I was going to say would love to get to a game 7, but we're tied at 2s. Now it's definitely entering next goal wins territory with under 5 minutes left, but it's the playoffs. Anything can happen. Are we going to go to overtime, or will there be a super late hero? We are going to overtime. I'm getting nervous. Now, it's normally a pretty early goal in overtime, but this isn't the case here. Okay, so we're playing a little bit. Who's going to take the W? Is it going to be Boston, or is it going to be Montreal? Montreal is outshooting us significantly by 10 shots. So they've apparently held more control of the game than we have, but it's overtime, so it is, in fact, next goal wins. We give them a power play, but they don't score on it, thank goodness. And they score immediately after the power play is over and win the series 4-2. We cannot force a game 7. And Mercer was evidently quiet in that game. 27 minutes, but only 2 shots. As a 98 overall, that is pretty absurd if you ask me. What seems like the 5th year in a row, we have a first round exit and we cannot win. We just cannot win. Let's see, did Columbus get a win? Because that would watch Columbus win the cup this year. Absolutely watch it. Okay, no, Columbus was beaten out, so they are not still in the race, which I guess is kind of a nice thing. Did they go to 7? Like, or did they get swept? So Columbus did go to 7, but they lost to Pittsburgh. The Montreal Canadiens, who were the team that beat us out in the first round, are your Stanley Cup champions. So if we had beaten them, there could have been a chance that we could have done some damage. But look at this. Troy Mercer gets the Rocket, gets the Machard. The Machard? The Machard? Gets the Maurice Richard trophy. Gets the Art Ross and the Lady Byng, I think. Ah, the Ted Lindsay. Nice. Hey, we will take that any day of the week. Ah, we got the Lady Byng as well. Feels great. Not gonna lie. Okay, let's take a peek at the trophy case and see who walked away with the awards this year. So, as we know, Montreal won the Stanley Cup. Mercer with Boston/Columbus gets the Art Ross. Gets the Hart. They said that I didn't win it for some reason in my interviews, but there we are. It's there. Didn't get the Norris because I'm not a defenseman. We got the Lady Byng. The Conn Smythe goes to Mayer. That's the only trophy I think I'm missing right now from my list that I want to get here. That and the Selke too. I'd like to get the Selke once. But we got the Ted Lindsay and we got the Rocket. So it was a pretty good year for us. We got 4 trophies this year. And if we jump on over to our milestone tracker, they should be popping up there. Look at that. So yeah, out of the 5 distinguishable awards that EA thinks are noteworthy of having, we're just missing the Selke and the Conn Smythe. So, and kind of that big one that's right there too, the Stanley Cup. So, you'd really love to see the Stanley Cup and those other 2 awards be added to the case next year. We'll see. We've got 2 All-Star Game selections now, 5 hat tricks in our career, 2 conference wins. We've got 644 points, so we're hoping to see maybe 750 next season. We're hoping also to get into the 300s for goals next season. I don't think that'll be too hard to do. And maybe get 400 assists as well. So yeah, we're looking like we're in pretty good shape to have a couple milestones added to our milestone tracker next season. So first, without ado though, we need to see which kind of contracts come our way. So let's take a peek at that. Okay, so we have a contract here with Boston for 5 years, the Sharks for 4 years. That could be interesting if Celebrini's still there. The Wild and the Oilers. Looking at the Oilers record, I am not at all wanting to be anywhere close to that organization. So I think, honestly, I'm thinking of jumping over to the West Coast or the Western Conference again. It's just which team would I like to do that with? I'm thinking probably the Sharks, just in hopes that Celebrini is still there. I should have checked to see before I went into contracts who was on what teams, but here we are, signing with the Sharks. Let's see what we can do with them. So we just signed a 4-year deal with the Sharks, and the biggest question that we're wondering is, will we be able to get a Stanley Cup within those 4 years, or will we have to sign another contract later? I sure am hoping that we can. For now, that's it for this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching. And again, make sure you like and subscribe. Share this with a friend, send it to them. Will we get the Stanley Cup in the next episode? I sure hope so. Peace.